Welcome to the gold standard, Making Millions with Malia, the place to be for conscious CEOs and light leaders who know that they have an enormous mission that requires millions to fuel it. I am your host, Jennifer Longmore, Clear Channel for Mother Malia, along with being a long-standing 8-figure CEO, investor, and board advisor who is committed to creating as many conscious millionaires as I can in this lifetime, and to debunk the broke healer paradigm that tells you it is not benevolent to make millions doing spirit-led work. We are in the midst of individual and collective ascension, and as we ascend, so must the way that we do business and money as light leaders. That is what this show is all about. So tune in now and find out why we are ranked in the top 5% of global podcasts and why savvy CEOs just like you binge our show each week and share it as a high-value resource with their communities. Now let's dive into today's Making Millions broadcast. Welcome everyone back to the gold standard, Making Millions with Mother Malia. I am your host, as you know, Mother Malia, and we are about to embark on a brand new series to support you in creating your new earth income stream portfolio. Ideally, to help you add at least 5 to 6 figures of monthly recurring revenue and or add at least 6 figures in new revenue outside of your core business. I am very thrilled to be doing this with you, in part because it has really been bubbling around for a few years. These are things that perhaps I share with my private clients or in close proximity containers. And in creating this series, it helped me to really go inside and say, well, how do I do what I do? I've been doing this for a very long time. I have been at this for easily 15 years of creating various income streams. I have invested frankly, hundreds of thousands of dollars into myself and into mentorship to support me in doing this. And I'm bringing this all together through the lens of the New Earth and what our mission is as New Earth leaders to support you in allowing your relationship with money to be very, very different. As we know, we have been heavily programmed in a lot of different ways that money is hard. Well, we've been programmed into hardship, frankly, regardless, haven't we? But in that, of course, then money has to be hard. Attracting clients has to be hard. Gaining or releasing weight has to be hard. Relationships have to be hard. You see, oof, that felt heavy to say that. Did you feel that? So we are going to move into different relationship with money. I really want to make sure that you're fully resourced. And this is my point. The reason that I'm doing this now is that really it is a big part of my mission. You can ask my astrologer. I'm just joking. Well, no, you can ask them because it is in my chart. It was in my human chart. It's also in my Mother Malia chart that I'm here to make sure that the New Earth leaders are fully resourced. And that is a lot of things. That means being in full awareness of how the world works and what we are up against and what the agenda is and how do we outcreate that. It also means being fully financially resourced. And so for 21 years, I have been helping people heal all kinds of things. I no longer identify as a healer. I cannot be in that loop anymore. We need to stop at some point unpacking all of the reasons why we don't have the money and just create it as the creator beings that we came here to be. And so with that in mind, I would like to share with you the 3 things that you need to master in your New Earth mission. Now, the overarching New Earth mission for the New Earth leaders is to help guide humanity and, well, frankly, the planet and all of its inhabitants into the new earth. So each of us will have very different ways that we are going to do that. Mine, as I mentioned, is to really help make sure that you are fully financially resourced and to be one of the main architects of the New Earth economy. Again, these are not things I'm just making up. It is hitting me in the head, I suppose you could say, over and over again. So I'm really thrilled to be bringing this to you. Now, what is required is that you have to be willing to go back into your creator energy to create money, to create possibility, to create joy, to create laughter, to create. Creating money is an experience that allows you to create more experiences and so on and so on. And when we create and gain experience, then we end up wanting to share that wisdom with others. Yes. And so that is a big part of that. You have been creating things all along. You have very varied experiences that contribute to the wisdom that you have. And you know that that wisdom is essential in lighting someone else's flame, I suppose we will say. So that's the overarching mission that we're guiding humanity, basically the whole planet, into the new earth. But what is it that we need to master? And I can tell you, having coached just hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people over the years, that many people will want to play in what I call Enlightenment Olympics. They want to be keyboard warriors and post about how awake they are and how come other people aren't awake, etc., etc. But really, one of the things that we need to master is living in duality. So that's great. You're awake, you're aware, you know what the global agenda is. But can you have awareness of this and still live life to the fullest in the world that we are in now, not the world that you want it to be? This is the world that we are in now. We came here back at this time for this very particular reason. You already know how to live in the duality. You already know how to straddle the old world and the new world. In part, we have come back to simply remember how we already reclaimed our planet. So I really do appreciate that there is a lot happening on the world stage. There's a lot happening in your own personal life. There's really just a lot happening, you know? That's not going to change. You're just more aware of that now. And so how can you be in the fullness of you as the creator being that you came here to be and create without getting mired down with the heaviness of all of your awarenesses? I can tell you, as someone that is very a person of interest, let me say, to the less than benevolent ones, and hello there, I know you're listening because you follow me everywhere. The dark is actually in service to the light. Okay, we do not serve the dark serves the light. If you think about when you have grown in your life, and I get it, those times where you're having to face the shadows or you're going through what is affectionately referred to as the dark night of the soul, it's not so fun. But then with time and space, you can typically look back on those and say, okay, well, perhaps I will have liked to have had that gift wrapped in a different kind of packaging, but it still served me. Especially if you are a light leader, you are going around probably to all of your clients saying everything happens for a reason, everything is energy. And so is that truth playing out in how you have viewed your life? If everything is in service to you, including the dark, how has it been a contribution to you? Even if you had a coach, you know, that maybe you didn't like the way their medicine tasted, or you liked it in the beginning and then you didn't like it, and you want to vilify them, or you want to say they're not who they wish they are meant to be, or they're mentally ill, or they're a cult leader, or whatever you would like to say. You found your way into their world. What is it that was contributing to you? How did it support you in growing? If everything is energy and everything happens for a reason, then we are all contributing to each other in the ways that are serving. We want to bash the system. Oh, all of these silly billies on the world stage, look at what they're doing to us. Believe me, I get that. And we also have to look at how the system has benefited us. Yes, it has suppressed us in some ways, but also how has it benefited us? In the day-to-day life, in the emotional growth, mental growth, ascension process. in order for us to see more light, we tend to need to be aware of the shadows, what's lurking in the dark, so to speak. Now, sometimes those are actual creatures. And sometimes it is your past, sometimes it is the traumas, sometimes it is the hooks, the cords, the programs that are keeping us locked into the distortion and keeping us separate from who we be and how we are created. So mastering living in the duality is going to take you into a place of neutrality. And neutrality is a founding principle of the New Earth, and particularly the New Earth economy, which we are going to speak about in another episode. I'm laying the foundation here because this is who I am serving. I am serving New Earth leaders that are already moving into this level of mastery. I can no longer play tug of war with people that are wanting to stay stuck in the feedback loops. I am no longer able to be linking arms with people that want to wear the title of leader in name only. Is how you're moving through the world a true embodiment of leadership? Because leaders do not need that defined, yes? Leaders do not need boundaries set. They do not need to know what a leader looks like. They just do it. The second thing that we need to master is being present, really being present. As you know, with my mission and with who I be as Mother Malia, that it is quite challenging for me to be locked into a calendar because time is an old world construct. And that is the world that we are dismantling as we move into New Earth. And as you ascend, it will be more and more challenging for you to be locked into a calendar, in part why I am supporting you with this income stream journey. Because much of the business world has you either selling a lot of your time and or has you spending a lot of your time overseeing the machine that you have built. And we're going to go into that again in another episode. So what do you do as you ascend and you start separating more and more from the old construct of time? How are you going to make money in the new way? How are you going to make money being you? Not being you the way we see with the personal branding and the influencer marketing, other such things. I'm talking being in the fullness of yourself. Just allowing money to float you. Who cares where it comes from? Who cares if you have 444 income streams that are each flooding $7 here, $22 there, $1,000 there, etc. Now, I'm not saying not to care, but you know what I mean. Let's not judge it. So as you master being present and separating from being mastered by time, because time, sadly, and I've seen it play out over and over again, the old world intentionally programmed you to submit to the goat, the god of all time. That is part of the Baphomet worshipping system. That time is not your master, and you are sovereign, and that is what you came here to remember. So as you ascend, it will be more and more challenging, as I mentioned, to be locked into a calendar, because that forces you to be in the future when you are meant to be present now, where full awareness resides. The only time you can be in full 360-degree awareness is in the present moment. And what we want is to be in full awareness. We don't want to know. We don't want knowledge. Gnosis is part of the goat system. It is part of the Baphomet worshipping system. It is a distortion that has separated you from your divinity as a creator being. We came here to be fully aware. Knowing things does not matter because knowing things isn't always true. Awareness is. So when we are present, when we have time serve us, to be yourself. If you want to spend time with animals all day, won't it be lovely to do that without having to worry about how you're getting paid? If you want to spend time building widgets because that brings you joy, maybe even gives you some delightful dopamine hits. Well, won't it be nice to do that? If you want to travel, travel, travel for months at a time without having to worry about how you're getting paid, or if you can afford it, or if you can truly just settle into the spaciousness of being you until you're ready to move into a new chapter, I suppose. Won't it be lovely to be able to take a sabbatical in the beingness of you without even remotely having to pay attention to time? Waking up when the body wants to wake up, going to sleep when the body wants to wake up, saying yes to only things you want to do, not because you feel you have to or because, oh, geez, if I miss out on this opportunity, how is it going to affect me financially, etc. We are unhooking from all of that. And the third thing we need to master is being fully resourced, as I mentioned, particularly with money. Being fully resourced means, informing yourself about what is happening on the world stage, who really runs the world, what the real agenda is. Most people think they know what it is, they don't. These are things I talk about privately inside of my community because, as I mentioned, I not everyone is a friend of the family, let's put it that way. But money is that thing that helps us be fully resourced. Money is the language that is spoken here. If it was bananas, I would be doing master classes on bananas and how to, engage in the currency of bananas. But it is money. And part of that money, or part of the issue, I shall say, with money is that it is fiat currency. And soon, I suppose, we'll be fully into digital currency. But we know who created that and who controls that. And that is sometimes why light leaders resist that. But if you're here to straddle both worlds, you have to learn how to play in the old world, but use your awareness and all of your ancient gifts and abilities to out-create the old world as we create the new earth. Money is simply a requirement. Money essentially is the bridge. And by that, I mean it gives you the resources to fund your mission, to really have space to ascend without being locked into a calendar, to be you, to have the physical and energetic things that are required for you to spread your mission at the speed of light. But even if we separate it from mission for a moment, as I mentioned, we came here to create. Creating money is a creation. Creating more money to create more experiences, because we also came here to create experiences, is also a part of being a creator being. Imagine how much more alive you are going to feel, how much more enjoyable this bridge, I shall say, or this straddling of old and new world. Imagine how much more joyful it will be. Imagine how much more joyful and easy it will be to live in the duality of this world, to be present, to have time serve you, to be in your body. A thing that we've all been heavily programmed to fix, to dislike, to try and shapeshift to what society expects, etc. There's so much that is in service to you, which inevitably is in service to others. When money, simply as a joyful thing to create, can be just yet another thing that you do in your day, like brushing your teeth, etc. That is neutrality as well. So I know I went on a little bit there, but I wanted to set the tone for why I am sharing this with you. The other thing I will share with you is that I am no longer working with anyone that makes less than $5 million a year. And even at that, they need to be, and what I mean by that, sorry, is one-on-one, okay? My time is, it is more and more challenging for me to be locked into a calendar. And by the time someone reaches $5 million a year, they have really moved their mission forward. They have really gotten their monkey mind out of the way and made their mission far more important than their monkey mind. And so even at that, I am only sharing my one-on-one time with one person a year who has an incredible mission. Ideally, you are doing some sort of stewardship, either with animals, with land, with children, something along those lines. Because the investment to work with me is quite substantial. This is why I needed to find a different way to serve you. Also, of course, honoring my mission, but to serve you in being able to create money. You come into my world because you want more money. Great. I don't want to hear about all the reasons why you can't have it. If you genuinely are ready to step out of the the push and pull with money, the tug of war with money, and you're ready to create it already, then this material is going to really be joyful for you. And why I have created a free Facebook group to share my personal income stream strategy with you, to share my personal income stream ecosystem with you, to share my personal income stream portfolio with you. And so, as I mentioned, not everyone is a friend of the family. That is the location that you are going to be able to have access to that. And that means you also need to be on my email list in order to know about that group. And just requesting to be in that group isn't necessarily going to give you admission to that group. So in order to join the group, I'm going to need to see the first and last name in your Facebook profile. I'm going to need to see that you are a real person, that you have a business. I'm going to be vetting you. My team's going to be vetting you. So a simple request to join the group is not necessarily guaranteed for admission. Now, part of this is all of the leaders that have already joined. I'm curating a crystal clear, pristine space for them to be with other leaders. It is a complaint-free, wine-free zone. Okay? We are simply creating. It is mission time. It is go time. We don't have the luxury of time anymore. It's go time with the mission. That is who I am serving. I'm simply not able to push and pull with people anymore. So if that's you, then you will know exactly how to join us in the Facebook group, and that is where I am sharing uh, all of that income stream information that I shared with you. Now you might be thinking, "Holy smokes, this seems kind of rigid." Well, I do have the luxury, of course, at this stage in my journey, being fully financially resourced, to gatekeep my spaces. I gatekeep them for me. I have no interest in playing cat and mouse with the silly billies. I have no interest in and no vibrational resonance for for any kind of push and pull from anyone. And I wanted to just be fun. Yes, I could have retired. Yes, I could just delete all of this, delete the podcast, delete my socials, delete everything, and just hibernate and be and live off the interest of my income streams that I've created for many, many years. But I genuinely want to support you. So some of you may be listening to this thinking, oh my goodness, that is quite hardcore. Well, perhaps this is your invitation to look at where you're holding standards instead of setting boundaries and saying, what if I started gatekeeping my spaces? If I started creating money so that I could gatekeep my spaces and not have to say yes to everyone because I need the money, what would that look like? And for those of you that are already fully into your leadership, I'm sure you're nodding, saying, oh, thank goodness. This is not going to be yet another space where the energy is heavy and people are pulling and kind of secretly looking for a mom, a boss, or a buddy. That just does not happen in my spaces. So all of that to say that if you would like to join us, you know what the requirements are. But if you're not ready for that yet, that is okay. You can still benefit from the podcast. And I will leave you with all of this for now. I'm not going to say this every time, but I want to set the tone. And I will see you on the next episode. Bye for now. Thanks for listening. Before you go, if you would like to have a chance to have your name and business featured on the Gold Standard podcast, hop on over to where you listen to this podcast and leave a review. If you're selected, you'll have your name and business featured on our show. And in the meantime, we wish you tons of financial blessings, and we'll see you soon for the next Making Millions transmission from Mother Malia.